but we've been waging an all-out war in American democracy.
And in the Senate, that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things.
Oh!
Donald Trump being entirely mistreated yet again, but what else is new? LA mayor is touting the very, very small percentage of people that are actually in homeless, quote-unquote, permanent housing. John Fetterman is right again, and should you block a car because you're protesting something? All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live start right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
From the dingy bunker that is completely and totally and utterly cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is Tuesday, December 5th, year of our Lord 2023. A lot of stuff to get to, and I feel like I don't know. We're in this just full-blown. The term post-truth world was used, I don't know, a couple of years ago for the first time. And I can't imagine a better example of that here. Now, for those of you who have been watching / have watched, understand, I guess, more or less how I look at things, I'm no great defender of President Trump. I'll say when he's right, and when he's wrong. I think he shoves his foot in his mouth a lot of times. However, the one thing that I'm consistently on his side on is the amount of maltreatment by the media, by the other side of the aisle, by just making stuff up out of thin air. And I think we have one of the most egregious examples of that right now. Again, this is not really an endorsement of President Trump. This is not really anything about his policies at all. You can agree, you can disagree, but what you can't do is what lefties have been doing all day for the last 2 or 3 days on the internet, discussing this particular clip entirely out of context. I want you to watch this 7 seconds here, and then we'll bring up some important lefties and how they talked about, again, the 7 seconds. And don't worry, we have the entire thing in its context in just a second. But watch this, and we will discuss on the other side. Check it out.
But we've been waging an all-out war in American democracy.
Wow, that was actually way less than the 7 seconds that I thought it was. But that's the 7 seconds is about when a bunch of your lefties are clocking that video in. And what I mean to say is this. I'm going to read you a couple different clips from, again, prominent lefties who just need to figure out. Sorry, I'm not trying. Oh, there we go. Need to figure out how to unfairly and unjustly bash the former president. What he said there is, what they're saying he said is, we, as in the conservative people of America, are waging an all-out war against American democracy. Now, if you actually think he said that, you'd probably be thinking, really? He said that? No. In context, it's a lot different. But let me read you from some of the prominent Dems. This guy, Harry Sisson, I don't really know much of his act, but I do know that he's on the payroll of the White House, currently defending President Biden, said, wow, all caps, Trump just admitted he's been waging a war, an all-out war on American democracy. This guy is insane. He's unfit to serve. He doesn't believe in American foundation and the value. Traitor Trump, exclamation point. Yeah, it goes on. So that's just a media commentator. The Biden-Harris HQ Twitter, which I don't even know if that's actually affiliated with Biden and Harris, but says this: Trump, we've been waging an all-out war on American democracy, and then posts the 8-second video. The ACYN, I don't know who that is, but again, prominent lefty. with 4.6 million impressions on this. Trump quoted, "We've been waging an all-out war on American democracy. Republicans against Trump. We've been waging an all-out war on American democracy. Yeah, Donald, we've noticed." Let me see. Midas Touch, who is a big lefty media outlet, says this, does the quote that I've been saying, quote again, and then says, Donald Trump's cognitive decline led him to tell the truth to voters in Iowa. Oh, okay. You know what? Let me do this. Let me play the next clip. There's a couple Congress people out there that have been saying similar things. But let me play you the clip in context before we find the congressman. I should have saved those 3 or 4 because I don't know. I'm screwing up how I'm doing this. But let me play you the full clip in context, and then you decide whether or not Donald Trump is saying, "We, the MAGA right, is waging an all-out war on American democracy," or if he's talking about the other side and America as a whole. You decide what he's saying. Check this out.
Opponents sometimes say that he did very well. I have to say, take it back, they scream. His people say, take it back. From that day on, our opponents, and we had a lot of opponents, but we've been waging an all-out war on American democracy. You look at what they've been doing and becoming more and more extreme and repressive. They have just waged an all-out war with each passing day. If they focused on our country, it would be a lot easier because we're going to bring this country to levels that it hasn't seen before. We're going to take it to levels even higher than where we had it just 3 years ago.
Yeah, you tell me. What is he saying there? Is he telling to the people? Is it a Freudian slip saying we've been waving all over when he's talking about the other side of the aisle? No. Again, am I a great defender of Donald Trump? Do I think he sticks? No. Do I think he sticks his foot in his mouth a lot? Yes. But the man really has made a political career of being treated horribly unfairly. You see that in pretty much all of the cases, minus the documents case at Mar-a-Lago. That one is weird to me. But pretty much all of the cases and charges being brought against him are him being mistreated by people who just hate the guy's guts. Here's what I was looking for. Jamie Raskin, who's a prominent U.S. congressman, I think he heads one of the big chairs. I don't know if it's the Intel Committee. I forget what he does specifically. But he said this, "This isn't a Freudian slip, it's an Orwellian slip. He accidentally tells the truth and confesses his dictatorial ambitions. Listen up, America." This is a sitting U.S. congressman in Democrat leadership. Holy crap. Again, you just heard the whole thing in context, right? Like, and also just it kind of goes without saying, which side is arresting people that they don't agree with? Is it the quote-unquote MAGA side, or is it the other side? Oh, it's the other side. Wow. So if there is an Orwellian take on corrupting American democracy, this guy's the victim of it. And again, I say this as, probably less of a Trump fan than I think more people on this show would watch. I don't have a problem with him. I'm just saying there are a lot of things that I maybe shouldn't have said that. But even the biggest honest Trump hater probably could watch that video and go, a U.S. congressman tweeted that? Big-time media lefty outlets are saying that he accidentally said the truth? Are they serious? Is that being serious? Wow, in the comment section, a lot of people reminding of all of the other instances when that happened. Mike says this. Remember clever editing worked for the media in Charlottesville? Yeah, remember that? The good people on both sides, I assume. and then goes on to completely and totally and utterly condemn the weirdo tiki torch people. It blows my mind. I guess I don't. Maybe I've done this on accident to somebody or something, like kind of put words in their mouth or took something out of context. I don't know, but I don't intentionally try to do it. Again, I've made mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes, especially in this whole lightning fast media world. But I would never do it on purpose. Like, what would be the point of that? Because then people know that you're a liar. And if people know you're a liar, what grounds do you have to argue with them over anything on? What a crazy, crazy time. And speaking of crazy, crazy times, this is interesting. We mentioned it on Isabel Brown's live stream yesterday. But you guys are familiar with Kelsey Grammer, Fraser, of Fraser. And then somebody in the comment section who's, I don't want to say older than me, but was around to watch the show that Frasier spun off of. Somebody hit me in the comment section. What was the show that Frasier started on, the character, and then spun off into his own successful show, which is one of the only successful spin-offs out there. Anyways, Kelsey Grammer of Frasier fame. Cheers. Wow, so quick. Ryan with cheer. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Now there's 15 people all just cheers. Like I'm the idiot who didn't know. But thanks. So there's a reboot of Frasier, and so Kelsey Grammer's been making the rounds, and turns out was at a BBC interview and said, "Yeah, I like Trump." Which, honestly, who cares? No offense to Kelsey Grammer. No offense to the work that he's done, whatever he does. I don't know. I don't know the guy. But I say the same thing to lefties when they come out in hard support of Joe Biden. Great. I do not care. I don't vote for people based on what celebrities like them. Not mad about it. Not happy about it. Okay. So I saw that headline come across the news yesterday, and then this morning woke up to a bunch of just seething hate for the guy. Like, who cares? He's a dude with an opinion who happens to have an interesting job working on TV. But the Twitter world was aghast that Kelsey Grammer would dare support the bigoted fascist from Florida. Of course, it's not true. Let me read you some of the tweets, because these are people that actually exist that we have to live in society with. One guy says, "Not surprised Kelsey Grammer is a MAGA. His success was due to his supporting cast. Certainly not him." Why do you care? Somebody else said, "It seems a lot of people didn't know that Kelsey Grammer was a gigantic piece of S." Okay? Not surprised Kelsey Grammer is a MAGA. He's always been known to be an a-hole. Why? Why do you people care? Like when Taylor Swift, endorsed Joe Biden, I don't even know if she did. I like Taylor Swift. I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I know might upset some of you. You know what I said to that? Publicly? Available to anyone? Effing nothing. Who cares? Taylor Swift's a bad example because she's a monument mover in terms of culture. But why do you care? Who cares who Kelsey Grammer likes from a political standpoint? Somebody putting a crying, laughing face. Love watching Kelsey Grammer get absolutely dragged. Kelsey Grammer showed his true colors as a chump. I will not watch or support any of his material. Why? Why does it matter that I'm beating a dead horse here, but I guess I just don't. I don't care. And also, this is interesting. Beth says in the comment section, Grammer has always supported Trump. Nothing new to see here. Okay. That interesting. Maybe he always has. I don't actually know. But this was, again, making the Twitter rounds yesterday, so I thought it was interesting and something to get to. I don't know. What a wild time to be alive. Speaking of wild times to be alive, this is fascinating to me. For some reason, anytime Fetterman comes up in the news, I think like 50% of the time I'm agreeing with him. Again, this is John Fetterman, the unfortunate stroke victim who got elected to the Senate in Pennsylvania. The trust fund baby, never worked a job in his life until he ran for mayor of his small town in Pennsylvania at the age of 40, and then somehow managed to become the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania and is now in the U.S. Senate. That guy, the guy that I can't stand how he views the world, for some reason, every time he pops up, it seems like I go, that's a good point. What a weird thing. So Fetterman was on The View yesterday remarking about George Santos getting booted from Congress. We didn't really talk about it all that much. Somewhat insignificant to me. I'd say good riddance. Doesn't really matter. Shouldn't really affect anybody. But George Santos got booted from Congress. Whoop-de-doo. But John Fetterman was on The View talking about it. I think The View hosts were thinking, yeah, he's going to trash Republicans. Look at these crazy Republicans who have this crazy guy, George Santos, in their party. But instead said something different. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched this full clip yet, but I've been told by many people that it needs to be played and that I would agree with 100% of what John Fetterman has to say, which again is crazy to me. But we'll all watch it together. Check this out. John Fetterman remarking on George Santos getting booted from Congress. Watch this.
Well, it's like I'm not surprised, but to me, I think the more important picture is that we have a colleague in the Senate that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things. Senator Menendez, he needs to go. And if you are going to expel Santos, how can you allow to somebody like Menendez to remain in the Senate? And Santos's kind of lies were almost funny, and he landed on the moon and that kind of stuff. Whereas I think Menendez is really a senator for Egypt, not New Jersey. So I really think he needs to go. And especially, it's kind of strange that if Santos is not allowed to remain in the House, someone like that. Yeah.
Are you, though, uncomfortable with the fact that there hasn't been an adjudication, that while he's been charged, there hasn't been a conviction? With Menendez.
I am. And it's like he has the right for his day in court and all that, but he doesn't have the right to have those kind of votes and things that's not a right. And I think we need to make that kind of decision to send him out.
I'm just curious, can somebody check hell for me? Has it frozen over? Why don't you go outside, look up in the sky, and see if there's pigs flying? What is happening that I now agree with John Fetterman again? What's the last thing I was he was there was a big pro-Hamas protest group sitting in the halls of the Senate, and they're sitting there doing all their chants, and Fetterman just walks by with an Israeli flag waving it. And I was like, what? Based Fetterman again? Dude. And so then he goes on The View and says, yeah, Bob Menendez, senator from New Jersey, is more like a senator from Egypt. Freaking funny. What is happening? And he landed some funny jokes there too, saying, well, George Santos, yeah, he was lying about stuff, but he was lying about crazy things. Like, yeah, I landed on the moon, or my mom was in 9/11, when in actuality, she was even, I don't know, Santos is Jewish. And then he comes out and says, I'm Jewish. Do I like George Santos? No. But also, Fetterman is right when he's saying, yeah, Santos was lying about dumb, weird stuff and misspending campaign money. Bob Menendez is taking bribes from various foreign countries. Weigh him a little bit. Why does it take John Fetterman to point this out to the lefty side of the aisle? And then I love Sunny Hostin. You know, I used to kind of think she was a nice person, smart, but also kind of, really caught up in her own side of things. But that was just, well, he hasn't been officially convicted of any sort of crimes. Are you uncomfortable with kicking someone out of the Senate for not being convicted of a crime? And Fetterman didn't say it, but guess what? Freaking neither has George Santos at this point. Both trials are still pending, to my understanding. But Sonny to say, you can't jump to conclusions here because the man has not been convicted of any crimes. Well, first of all, there's a lot of evidence out there. And then Menendez said, I can't believe these people are trying to besmirch me because I am a Latino man. That was his argument against it. There's a ton of evidence against Menendez. And the only reason he hasn't been convicted of any of those crimes yet, at least in my opinion, is because the court date is set like 6 months out. But that didn't stop the House from booting out freaking George Santos. So what kind of question is that, Sonny? Is that supposed to be like we should contemplate this grave decision made to the most most respected and important deliberative body in the world? Or do you go, oh yeah, dude, this guy, how about this? How about the Senate has their own hearing? Because that they can do that. Doesn't necessarily have to be criminal charges, but they can bring it to, I don't know, the Intel committee or whoever. Some committee can have their own hearing and then the Senate can vote to oust that guy too. But again, John Fetterman, of all freaking people, hitting it on the nose, saying, yeah, if you're going to kick out Santos for lying about goofy stuff, you probably should kick out Menendez too. What is the world coming to? Where I agree with John Fetterman twice in two very, prominent situations. There's a bunch of other stuff too that Fetterman has said. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't like the way he votes, by the way. He votes pretty dang liberal on things. But when he goes on The View, I don't know if that's a strategy of his. I swear to God, if this guy runs for president, I don't know, man. But yeah, fascinating. Let's see. Beth coming back with an important report saying, no pigs flying, sorry, LOL. I did ask if anybody saw pigs flying or if hell had frozen over. So yeah. Excuse me. I want to move on to this story because I think this story is fascinating. And I feel like it should get more attention because of, just homelessness around the country. So California has a third of all the homeless people in the country. Now, granted, it is the biggest state with the biggest population, so doing it fractionally is kind of not necessarily fair, but it is still fascinating that a third, actually, it might even be half of all homeless people live in one state, and that state is California. One of the places in California that has the biggest homeless problem, and I've seen it for myself, we did a documentary over the Daily Caller called Lawless, where we go into, it's a policing documentary, but you can't talk about policing in Los Angeles without talking about the homeless problem. Los Angeles is a huge issue when it comes to homeless people, drug addicts, vagrants just wandering the streets and making everybody there unsafe. But the homeless population in Los Angeles is insane. I think it's like 46,000 people. But don't you fear, the new mayor, Karen Bass, former congressman from that area in Los Angeles, now mayor of LA, has got a plan to stop it. Where have you heard that before? Here's the problem, and this is, hold on to your seats. If you're sitting down, hold on to whatever the armrests, whatever it is that you can. Make sure you're affixed to the chair so you don't fall out of it. If you're standing up, oh, God help you, this is going to knock you off your feet. But get this. The housing programs instituted by the Housing First mayor of LA have not worked. I know. I know. This is a tough pill to swallow. Who could have guessed that the government program was going to fail? Not I, certainly. Of course, I have full faith in all of the government institutions and everything that they promised to do. They've never failed me yet. But gosh dang it, I am gobsmacked by this. The LA homeless plan has not worked. Let me give you some statistics. This is actually tweeted from my friend Houman Hamani, who says this: if this isn't proof that the scam of California's California's homeless industrial complex, I don't know what is. LA Mayor Karen Bass's Inside Safe temporary homeless housing progress has housed, get this, of the 46,000 homeless people in LA, 250 homeless people. Okay. Great work. What's the percent? Somebody do the calculation on that. What percentage of that is it? Because I now realize that people in the comment section should honestly just be brought on as producers here. But somebody divide 250 by 46,000 and give me the percentage of what that it's like 0.01 or something like that. But anyways, of the 46,000 people, 255 now have temporary housing. But what cost, do you say? At what cost are those people being housed? Well, the taxpayer for those 255 homeless people, the taxpayer is footing the bill to the tune of $263,000 each. William says 0.5%. Thanks. Appreciate that. Jody in the comment section, say it ain't so. OMG, I can't believe it. Neither can I, Jody. We're all devastated here. Can't wrap our heads around this atrocity. And it is an atrocity in some way, shape, or form. To the taxpayer specifically. $263,000 each, which factors into, or which gets to $720 a day they're paying for these people. Let me ask you, if you've ever gone on vacation, have you ever paid $720,000? Sorry, geez, I keep mixing up thousand. Have you ever paid $720 a night for a hotel room? No. And yet, these 255 individuals, that is the cost of housing them. The nicest place my wife and I have probably ever stayed was the David Citadel in Jerusalem, which I think is the nicest hotel there. It's where the president stays. Fortunately, we were on a trip where the cost was covered, but we looked up what it would actually cost for a night in that hotel, and it would have been less than had we been homeless people milking the taxpayer in Los Angeles to stay there. At this rate, says Homan, it's $12 billion a year, which is 92.3% of LA's entire city budget. I shouldn't be laughing because this is terrible. But also, what else are you supposed to do? If somebody is this wrong about something, are you supposed to be mad at them, or are you supposed to treat them like a child and say, oh, geez, man, you really missed on this one? 1 year, $67 million later. This is from Los Angeles Magazine. Karen Bass's Inside Safe campaign to address homelessness has fallen short of expectations. To say the least. That's a pretty nice way of putting it. Has fallen. The mayor's plan to house all 46,000 only getting 255 has fallen just a bit short. 1 year in and $67 million later, 0.5% of the population has been taken care of. And also, that's assuming that it's a stagnant number. Considering how soft on crime Los Angeles is and California is as a whole, it would be stupid of you to be a homeless person somewhere else. If you are a homeless person in, I don't know, Bozeman, Montana, first of all, it's freaking cold there. Get yourself a bus ticket to California, and I guarantee you somebody will buy it for you. You walk around and you can, look, if you're a homeless person in Bozeman, Montana, or I don't know, Twin Falls, Idaho, or even Bend, Oregon, probably. If you're a homeless person in any of those places, if you're a homeless person in a place that gets cold and where they don't want homeless people, because nobody wants homeless people anywhere, you can, I guarantee you, find somebody to pay for your bus ticket to California. Heck, I might even do it. If you're, out there wanting cash, I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. But geez, I live in California, but if you're on the side of the street with a cash sign, I'm not giving you any money. Gavin Newsom says you shouldn't give panhandlers money. Because you shouldn't. Because there's enough services out there that your taxpayers are already paying for. Tax money is already paying for. But if you had a sign that said, get me a bus ticket to Los Angeles, I can go buy one for you. I wouldn't give you the cash for it because I don't trust you with that, but I would go buy you one. Get on over there and maybe you could be part of the 0.5% of homeless people in that area to be housed by Karen Bass's Ending Homelessness campaign. Where did we start on? Oh, yeah, I'm saying that because the number is not stagnant. That number is always growing because it's California and all of the homeless people should want to be here. I don't want them here. I'm just not done. If in the mindset of a homeless person, you should want to come to California. But that's that. Yeah, we'll play this. There's really no story to this. This is just another one of these videos that has been popping up that I enjoy seeing. I will say that. I think people are going to be offended in some way, shape, or form that I enjoy seeing this. What I'm saying is I don't enjoy seeing people get hurt. What I enjoy is people not putting up with these whack protests that have people sitting and lying down in the middle of the street. I'm going to play you this video because it just makes you feel good. Finally, somebody's standing up to these lunatics and just bursting his way through. Well, watch this. It looks like it's out of like Germany or something like that. Protester lying in the middle of the street and a car not having it. I hope this becomes the norm, not where people get hurt, but where drivers say, nope, I'm yanking you out from under my car and I'm driving. Watch this.
No, non lo picchiare, dai. Non lo picchiare. Fatelo passare, Giorgi, fallo passare, dai.
Oh!
Non ammazzi!
There's not any real reason for playing that other than I'm excited to see that. I also want to ask the question, and it's in the little Chiron thing. What problem is being solved there? Like, do you think that guy in that car, or even anybody in the traffic that they stopped, is like, yeah, you know what? I really need to take a look into renewable energy. No. They're like, get these bozos off the middle of the street, and probably using some more choice language when talking about it. Yeah, I don't know. So that's Italy. Yeah, as I watch that again and I think about it, yeah, that's probably sounds more Italian. Keith says, play stupid games. win stupid prizes. Keith, are you on here from yesterday when we were on Isabel's stream? Is that how you wandered on here? Appreciate you tuning in, man. And also all of you. But that'll do it for us today. Wow, geez, the comment section is wild on this LA thing. Funny. But that'll do it for us today. Appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. Just type in JOBOB pretty much anywhere. Got some, I guess, interesting and fun news. We're kind of revamping this whole thing, as you can kind of tell by the studio makeup. We've got another chair here, so maybe someday we'll have people on and talk about the news and all the fun stuff that's happening during the day. Might be doing a rebranding of this show in its entirety. But kind of exciting stuff coming up. But make sure you stay tuned, stay up with all of it. But yeah, appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. I think we're pre-recording tonight, just FYI. Not that matters at all. But still hoping to air a show live tomorrow. But we're also traveling most of the day tomorrow, doing some stuff. And then we'll be back Thursday, definitely, if not for some reason tomorrow, because life happens. And then not that you need to know any of this, not that anybody's planning your schedule around this. Friday, we're definitely not on the air. I'll be at Mar-a-Lago on Friday and Saturday, which that's fun, good times. But we'll see you hopefully tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless America.